In this video, I'm going to talk you through utilizing the iPEGS remote profile option to auto-populate fields in a form. If you first go to User Manager, you will notice there's an option to import users. If you click on Import Users, you'll see that currently there are two profile types. There is a standard profile, which is a very basic user profile, and we have an apprentice profile. The apprentice profile has all of the relevant fields you would need for an apprenticeship enrolment. We have our original version 1 sample CSV, and we now have a newer version which includes a lot more fields. So the first step is to download that CSV and open it up. And this will show you all of the fields that are available in the profile. And it's this template that you will need to use to import your data. Okay, so there's a lot of fields in this. You don't necessarily need to use them all. There are only 3 fields that are mandatory when importing data. That's first name, last name, and email address. So all of the other fields are optional. Another way to look at all of the fields available is if you click on Add User and you choose Apprentice Profile, you will see all of the fields that are available. So you can import data to populate this profile, and then you can map the fields from the profile to the form itself. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to Form Manager. I'm going to choose this particular apprenticeship enrolment form template. I'm going to click on the form builder, and I'm going to look at the individual field settings. Okay, so the first field we would probably want to map is first name. So if I click on Edit, scroll down to Profile Mapping, if I then choose the apprentice profile type, and I can then search for, I just type in first name. That field is now mapped to the profile. If I do the same for the next field, last name, again, profile mapping, choose the profile type as apprentice, search for last name, and that field is now mapped. If you have a field that isn't available within the profile, you will notice that we have up to 20 extra fields that you can use for whatever you like. Okay, so you've got some additional fields in there, and actually you can use any of these fields. They're all text fields, so you can actually use any of these fields, even if they're not an exact match. As long as you know what they're for, then you can use that for the profile mapping option. So you need to go through your form, map all of your fields to the profile. Once that is complete, you can then import your users. So again, go to User Manager, click on Import Users. Make sure that you've downloaded the CSV template and you've added your data to all the rows below row 1. Remember, you must retain row 1. You mustn't change any of the field names because that's what will map into the profile. When you import that data, that will create a user account in the system for that particular user or users. You have the option to send them a welcome email from the system, which basically says, welcome to iPEGS, we've created you an account, please set your password, or you can skip that message altogether. Then you can publish forms or send forms to your users. So you would need to create a different form type. So let me just show you here. So I'm going to clone this form. Just going to create a standard clone. Give it a few seconds. It's quite a big form that I've decided to clone. And you'll see currently it's set as an anonymous web form. If you want profile mapping to work, you need to change the form type from web form anonymous to web form user. This will tell the system that the user needs to log in to be able to access this form so that the data can be pulled from their profile and for it to then auto-populate. You can assign this form to a group of users and publish it to those particular users, or you can use the form sender in the same way as you would before, but the difference is you would choose the group or the users within the form sender here. So as opposed to just copy and pasting email addresses in, if you'd imported users, those users would appear in the list here. You would send the form in this way. They will receive the link as they do normally. The difference is this time they'll need to log in. If they've not yet logged in or set a password, they can set a password at that point, and once they hit save, it will redirect them directly to that form, and it will auto-populate those fields. So if I just open that form very quickly now, because I'm logged in already, if I just go quickly to here, it hasn't populated the names, but it will basically auto-populate the names when you log in. I obviously haven't set up my profile for that. So that's how to utilize the user manager and profile mapping. Again, remember to take a look, to add a user and have a look at all of the available fields when you choose apprentice. Make sure you download the CSV templates so you can look at those fields, import to create that user account, and ensure all of your fields are mapped to the profile fields for that auto population. This is an advanced feature, so if you do need any additional support, please email support@ipegs.co.uk or catch us on live chat.